Family is, with the occasional exception, of course, one of the most important things in life. Another is your identity, who you really are and what makes you tick, where you come from. We start this episode of All Grown Up with the Finster's teacher telling the students to research their family trees. Kimmy and Chucky are super excited because they get to split the work due to being in the same tree, so that means half of the work. The B plot shows a kid who looks similar to Tommy who keeps skating by during lunch. We find out his name is Trevor and he's new to school when Tommy goes up to introduce himself, and the two kind of sort of hit it off. It's kind of awkward though. At the Java Lava, Chaz is telling his kids about some of the people in their family. Kimmy is doing some research on the computer during these notes. Each relative that Kimmy clicks on to read about, she keeps noticing that something is wrong, missing. Things from Japan keep popping up in these visions. She gasps and exclaims that she's Japanese. Chucky asks if she's only just now realizing that, but Kimmy tells him that there's a whole other side of her that she has no idea about. Kimmy goes to their mother, Kira, and Kira begins to tell her daughter all about their heritage. She gives Kimmy an old kimono, and the two share a very sweet moment. Trevor walks by the Pickles house while the boys are playing in the front yard. We learn that Trevor is also a movie buff, much like Tommy, when the two begin to discuss a new movie that they were both planning on seeing. When Chucky comes home, he is shocked to see that Kimmy had made over her room. She invites Chucky to her tea party on Saturday, which hurts Chucky's feelings since she was actually supposed to teach him how to ice skate that day for a party that he's supposed to go to. While riding their bikes, Tommy and Dale run into Trevor again. The eldest Pickles brother invites him to the party, which kind of seems rude because Kimmy does not know him. She has not been around for any interaction whatsoever. Kimmy is teaching her friends and her family about her Japanese culture. Everyone is doing their best to participate to support their friend, which is really sweet. Phil takes a sip of his tea, and even he finds it gross, so that says a lot. He tries to get Tommy to dump it into a bonsai. So Tommy tries to get Susie to dump both of their teas into the bonsai, but Susie declines. That is, until she takes a sip of her own tea. Things slowly begin to derail. Chucky makes a huge mess. Phil makes a rude gesture while asking how to hold his chopsticks. Kimmy is distraught. At school, Kimmy makes her way into the Japanese club. There are only 4 people total, including her, but one of them is the instructor. The students ask about her heritage, and Kimmy explains that her dad lives in Japan, but her dad, talking about Chaz, lives in the United States. Chucky is trying very hard to support his sister, telling everyone not to eat until all of the friends are at the table. Kimmy finally makes her way wearing her kimono and begins to eat octopus tentacles. The gang hangs out at the Java Lava after school, and they panic when they think Kimmy is coming. It's just Dill, but Chucky asks why they're all so afraid. Twins tell him that they miss the old Kimmy because the new one just talks about Japan all the time. Guess who happens to show up? Did you guess Trevor? You're right. At her house, Kimmy is on the phone with Hero when Chucky comes in. He tells Kimmy that he needs her footprint for part of the project, Finster Feet Throughout the Ages. Chucky asks when she's going to teach him how to skate, but she blows him off once again. Chucky goes to her best friend Susie for advice on how to handle the situation, and Susie hears Chucky out, and she also builds Kimmy up, and I love Susie. She is such a great character. The Japanese club is holding a kabuki night, where the families will be performing with their fellow club members on the stage. The Finsters support their daughter to the best of their abilities, which is great to see. Tommy is getting his camera ready, and surprise, surprise, Trevor just so happens to be doing the same exact thing. Tommy starts to call him out, and the boys both discover that they carry screwdrivers as well. Okay, this is weird. Things go well with the Finsters dance. That is, until Kimmy's wig falls off. Chucky accidentally throws his fan and hits Betty. And Chaz unties his robe accidentally, and Kimmy runs off the stage, horrified. Chucky goes to tell her that it's all going to be okay, but then he notices her family tree. She has everyone from her Japanese side of the family, but Chucky immediately notices that Chaz and himself are missing. Kimi tells him that she's not a real Finster, which sets Chucky off. He tells her that she's not a real Finster because a real Finster wouldn't blow off their brother like she keeps doing. And right after that, she gets a phone call from one of her Japanese club friends and blows him off yet again. Poor Tommy is to the point that he is having straight up nightmares about Trevor. And honestly, who can blame him? The next day, Tommy has set up the Java Lava to have everyone dressed like him. Betty calls out their order, and Trevor begins to panic. Tommy tells him it's over, and Trevor apologizes for trying to steal Tommy's personality. The Pickles boy tells him that if he stops, he will be his first official friend. At breakfast, tensions are high with the Finster siblings. Kimmy's tree is missing, but Jazz tells her that they had it laminated to keep it safe. It was Chuckie's idea, and the brother and sister kind of make amends. In the classroom, Kimmy is up to present. She tells about her Japanese heritage, then pulls out the Finster tree, which is attached. Chuckie smiles at the sweetness of the inclusion, and then takes his turn. Kimmy wakes Chuckie up at 5 a.m. the next morning, which is on a Saturday, to teach him how to skate. Chuckie groans and asks why she chose now to become a Finster again, and the two are clearly made up and begin to playfully fight like siblings. I love the episodes, both of the original show and of All Grown Up, where we get to see Kimmy explore the other side of her heritage. There are probably more people than we realize who go through a similar experience, and I'm sure that episodes like this make them feel seen.